guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today I have decided that for October I want to do like a spooky week type thing, so I will be doing the It makeup tutorial today. I started off wanting to do a jack-o'-lantern look. It didn't really work out, so now I decided to do the It look. So if you guys want to figure out how I got this look or just kind of watch how it turned out, then you can go ahead and keep watching, and I hope you guys enjoy. So to start off, I have done my complete face of makeup already. I've done my foundation, concealer, contour, blush, and eyebrows. The only thing that I haven't done is my eyeshadow, and I'm going to do that on camera. What I'm going to do is I want to try and keep this smoky-eyed, but also not too dark, because I want it to be more focused on the It portion of it instead of just the smoky eye itself. I didn't even think about doing that in the first place. Anyways, I'm just going to start off by I will be using my James Charles palette for all of this. So I'm going to start off by using this shade right here. It's the light brown. And I'm just going to be putting that all over my lid and in my crease. And I'm going to just be using windshield wiper and circular motions. Now that both of those are blended out, I'm going to go in with the same brush, and by the way, this is an Morphe M441 brush. I'm going to go in with the same brush, and I'm just going to grab this darker shade right here, and I'm just going to be blending that on the outer corner of my eye. So I'm just packing it on and then blending it out, and that's why I use the same brush, honestly, because it still has that lighter eyeshadow on underneath it. So it kind of helps to blend out that color once it's been packed on there. And I'm just blending it in the same way, and I'm just trying to not bring it as forward as the last one. I just want this to kind of be buffed out towards the hairline a little bit more, I guess you could say. And then just using whatever I have left on my brush to define that crease. And the crease is like right in that area of your eye where things start to get blurred after putting pressure in it. And then once both of those eyes are blended out, I'm going to go in with this darker brown shade right here, and I'm actually going to use the M433 because I feel like it's a little bit more flat, so it's easier to pack to a certain area. And I'm just going to be packing that color right on the outer corner of my eye just to darken it up. We're really trying to stay in these brown tones. I don't want any crazy colors because the crazy color should come in when the It portion comes in. Really, after I get all that color into the outer corner, I'm really going to drag it out because I want it to be buffed out as much as possible, so it gets that smoky look. And then bringing it into the crease to define that crease. I don't think I want it to be any darker than that, and plus we can always go darker later, but we can never go lighter. Well, we probably could go lighter, but it's harder to go lighter than it is to go darker. And then once you kind of feel like those eyes are balanced out between each other, you can go ahead and move into the lower lash line. And for that, I'm going to use the M124 brush, and I'm just going to be taking that darkish brown, or that darker brown that we used on the outside, and I'm just going to be placing that right on my lower lash line. Super, super tight and close to it. And then we can buff it out later. And really focus that on the outer corner of the lower lash line. Don't try and drag that in too much because we don't want it to be too dark on the inner portions. And now that I'm saying that, I made it too dark. And I'm just taking this brush, M456, and I'm just going to buff out that dark color because it does look very, very concentrated. So I'm just going to try and buff that down and drag it down. And I'm just going to use that medium brown that we used, and I'm just going to put that right in the center. And then I'm just going to leave the inner corner of that completely how it is. Now that that is done, I'm going to go ahead and pick, I think I'm just going to go with a regular, we're going to do this gold shimmer right here. And I just went ahead and just rubbed my finger in it so my finger is covered in it, and I'm just going to drag that onto my upper lid. I like to apply it with my finger because I feel like it sticks to the oil in the fingers very well, and then it just transfers nicely onto the lid. So that's why I use my finger. And then I'm just gonna take any of the fluffy brushes that we used and just kind of dust off any shimmer that we got on the darker portions, because you really want that to be concentrated onto the lid. And that's that for the eyes. Obviously we're gonna put on mascara and eyelashes, but I am going to wait to do that because I wanna get into this it portion, and I don't really know, I don't wanna mess up my eyelashes or my mascara, so. Okay, so I want to start off by doing my lipstick first because I kind of want to create the curves of the it from my lips up. This is just kind of like a deep red lipstick. Okay, so now that we have this dark burgundy red lipstick on, which is actually perfect because I wanted the outers to be a little bit darker, I'm gonna go ahead and move in to the smile lines that go on forever. So how I'm going to do these are I'm actually going to dip a thin brush. So I'm gonna use the M250-1, which is this literal like tiny tapered brush, and I'm just gonna dip it into the lipstick that I just used, and then I'm just going to drag it kind of upward. So I'm gonna skip the entire eye portion. So my camera stopped recording, but while it was stopped recording, I created, I don't think you can see the ones underneath my eye, I just created dots where I want it to like kind of end and things from the drawing process. So now I'm gonna get a little bit more lipstick on my thing, and I'm just going to start from the outer corner of my lip and just kind of drag it around and back up. So it's gonna make kind of this shape. This way we have the outline of it. And I'm just gonna go ahead and darken that outline. So now you can kind of see the outline of it. So now I'm gonna go ahead and do that other side. I feel like that's like very rounded, but whatevs. And it's okay if there's kind of gaps in between where you did it, just because, you know, we're gonna be shading that in anyways. So any little tiny mistakes that are made will be fixed. Now that we have that done, like I said, I think I'm going to go ahead and skip the eye portion and just go straight up to the eyebrow. I'm gonna have it to where this kind of tapers inward here, and then it kind of goes outward into a point here. So even though that's the center, now I know I want the center to end here, and I know I want the center to end here. So now I made 2 extra little dots above where the center was before. Okay. So now that we have that kind of mapped out, I'm going to go ahead, might have just messed this up low-key. So now that we have that done, it is time to move into the eyeshadow so that we can start building this up and blending this out. What I'm going to use to build this up, same brush, but now this one's clean, to darken up the line that I made, but I'm going to darken it up with eyeshadow so that it's easy blendable. And I really want this center portion to be the darkest portion. It's okay if this part isn't perfect because we are going to be blending it out with more reds. So I'm going to take a dark brown. As I said, I do want this to be the darkest portion. And I'm just going to literally go over that line that we created. So the dark brown is done on this side, and as you can see, it does look darker, so. Okay, so now that we have both of those done, I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing to this line that we created up here. So now that that's done, I have these 2 brushes right here that I had already had red on, which is perfect. And I'm just going to go ahead, and this one is an M433 brush, and I'm just going to go ahead and dip that into this bright red color. I'm just going to go ahead and just pat that alongside that dark line and kind of just rub it in. I'm I'm going to take this brush that we used on our lower lash line to blend out that dark line. Right, I'm going to pack on some red and put it next to it so it blends a little bit better. Go ahead and go in with that darker reddish brown and kind of blend it into the red. I'm just going to take that brush that I had the red on, kind of wipe it off on my hand so that there's no extreme red coming off. And I'm going to use that brush to blend out the sides so that they're not super, super patchy. Gonna do the same thing on the other side. I'm gonna take this brown color and I'm just going to pack that right in the center of where it was beforehand. And then we're going to go ahead and blend out some red and some lighter browns and stuff so that we can make like this triangle looking thing so that it blends up to the upper triangle that we're gonna have up there. So it almost looks as if it's like all one. Okay, so now as you can see on this side, we kind of have this like blended smoke coming down from it. So we'll have the same coming up at the top. But I don't want it too blended and smoky because I don't want it to distract from the it shape itself. I've actually decided to use a darker brown on the center. I like the way it looks better. Almost gives that like tired-ish look. Okay, now moving on to the top, I'm going to do the same thing with that center line that I did before. So I'm going to take that light red and I'm just going to pack that onto that center line and kind of blend that throughout. And I want it to come up to a nice point in the top because this is going to all be blended at the bottom. And then we're going to buff it out also. And then I'm going to go ahead and take that light red, pop that on the outsides of this triangle that we're trying to create. So now we have that middle line super dark. So I am going to try and take this brush that was pointed and just try and buff out that middle line. Alright, so now that is both of these sides done, I'm going to go ahead and pop on some lashes and then I will be back with the finished look. So this is the finished look. This was my IT tutorial. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, go ahead and give it a thumbs up below. Don't forget to subscribe. You can go ahead and share and turn my post notifications on when you want to get alerted when I have posted another video. Thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate it and happy Halloween. I'll be posting a lot more spooky stuff. I will see you guys next week. Peace.